What is up, guys? Welcome back to the LuxAlgo live stream. My name is Jacob, and man, are we holding 40K on Bitcoin or what? It just seems to not want to break, but you can see it right up there, 40,663. I can't believe we're just continuing to hold that level, especially through the weekend, because you know a lot of more volume comes in on the weekend, but you know, you never know. This might be the week of that pullback before we get this big run up in what you call it, the halving coming up. So hopefully, you know, we see some bit of a retracement on the weekly and then get a nice little rally through that high before the halving comes, because we all know, as history repeats itself, we've had some crazy price values about a year or two out after the halving. So how's everybody doing? Have a nice long weekend. Welcome to the daily LuxAlgo live stream. We're going to be doing it every single day, 1 p.m. Eastern. You're just going to see down there, down over there, 1 EST. And man, about to get into this. Lots of news to go over. But as we start the stream and get into new things, wait, real quick. They can't hear me? You can hear me. Should be able to. Let me double check. People saying they can. Testing. You able to hear me? Yeah, I can hear myself. What are you talking about? All right. In this case, guys, to start us out, sorry, I mean, we're trying to do new things here, making sure everything's good to go. I want to make sure you can all hear me. All right. Awesome. Well, you guys know the new deal. We're doing the wheel of analysis. So if you are new here, well, you have a chance to put a ticker in the chat and we might go over it. So let's go ahead and add to the chart, or to the wheel, starting now. So if you guys want to see a specific ticker analyzed today, throw it in the chat and I'll put it on the board, and that's exactly what we're going to go over in today's stream. Remember, Bitcoin and any majors we always go over, so don't worry about throwing Bitcoin or anything in the chat. This is things for people that want to see specific things outside of Bitcoin and other things that are, you know, like Apple, Nvidia, if we're going to go over those. But in this case, Solana for sure. AVAX got it. Goodness gracious, am I just spelling it? It's AVA. It's been a long weekend. Oil. Got it. Oil. Assuming just oil futures, that's for sure. We got MNQ, XRP. We'll go over the NQ, so don't worry about putting that in there. XRP. Just want to make sure we get ones we don't normally go over. OP. Yes, OP. OP's on the board. I want to make sure I'm going down the line here. Dang, people are in it. Let's go. All right, OP, we had Unibot. Awesome. Gold. I'll put gold for sure. I mean, we always go over gold, so I'm not going to put gold. Let me put Unibot. I don't really know what Unibot is, but it could be fun to look over. What we got here? We got LYX. We're going to go over all the majors. So gold, SPX. We got XRP there. Let me go LY. Ignore my terrible handwriting. My girlfriend. Jockey wants to go over his girlfriend. Okay. All right, Jockey. We got Ape, Apple, SCI, SUI. We'll go over Ethereum, so don't worry about it. Sorry, I'm trying to check the chat. Sand. All right, I'll do sand. Some of these I don't really know, so it'll be fun to look at them. Pyth, Doge. Mickey wants Doge. Let me see here. I'm just going back, making sure. Pyth. We got one last slot, guys. One last slot. Who we got? Link, Ape. I think we saw Ape in there. We'll go over Link for sure. Chainlink was one of the first. We'll put in Ape for now. But we'll definitely. You know what? I'm gonna take off. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take off the oil, because we always go over oil, and I'll put Chainlink in there for you guys. We always go over the majors. All right. Let's get into it. Beautiful. In this case, the board is filled. If we have time near the end, we will go ahead and look over some more suggestions. But for now, wanted to get out of the way that those are the ones that we're going over that we don't normally go over. But all the majors we'll go over, so don't worry about that. Now, going into the news front, and also we appreciate you guys being here. So make sure to hit that like button and try to get to 100 likes every stream. That's our goal. So we're at 30 right now, so let's crank it up to 100. See if we can get a lot quicker today. But for now, going over the news this week, a lot of earnings coming into the U.S. stocks. We'll go over a few of those real fast while we have a little bit of time here. But today, nothing too major, as you can see there. I'm going to move this way so you can see it. But coming into tomorrow, nothing too crazy either. We got the API Weekly Crude Oil Stock report after hours tomorrow. Looks like we have manufacturing PMI at 9:45 on Wednesday, so be tuned for that. Obviously, crude oil inventories on Wednesday at 10:30. As you can see, there's nothing too crazy in this front right now. 5-year auction note for those of you that do trade those. Pay attention to that because you do get some volatility, especially once that's reported. But it's very, very minor volatility. But it does affect the market a little bit. Building permits on Thursday at 8:30. Core durable goods, of course, 8:30. 8:30 is always a great time to wait for news. And then GDP, guys, on Thursday. That's a big report. GDP Thursday, going to have some definitely some crazy movements before the market. That's also going to determine how the market plays out on Thursday, probably through the weekend. So make sure you know that GDP is an hour before market open on Thursday. That's going to play out into Friday with the PCE. So we have the PCE price index on Friday at 8:30. So Thursday and Friday can be pretty volatile. So it'll be a lot of fun. So just know that an hour before open Thursday and Friday, you're going to have some volatility. 10 a.m. got home sales on Friday. I was going to see if we have anything at. Yeah, so we do have a 10 a.m. home sales on Thursday as well. So Thursday and Friday, high volatility days, guys. 10 a.m. is going to be a report you need to watch out for. So, that's 30 minutes after market open, so watch out for that. All right. But other than that, that's not too bad. But going into an interesting tweet we saw today, Jim Cramer saying it's unlikely that Bitcoin finds its footing. Now, do you guys think Jim Cramer is long in this scenario? Because everybody tries to go opposite Mr. Cramer, right? So could he be playing this on the long side? Or is this entailing that, people got to buy just because he said this? So that's maybe going to determine that 40K support, is Jim Cramer speaking about Bitcoin yet again. So here you go, major buy signals on the comments here. So we'll see. We'll see what that affects. We also got a new updated report on the Bitcoin holdings for these spot ETFs. We do have some conversation around options coming in, which is really awesome. And we're definitely going to be talking about that come options, because that's my cup of tea there. Trading options on these ETFs is going to be a lot of fun, especially on iBit and Grayscale once they come in. And guys, welcome back, especially Fame there. Good to see you, Brad. Good to see you. I know a lot of you are back here. I saw a few familiar faces. But we appreciate you guys being here. If you are new to the stream, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like, guys. We're already at 50 or 50% of the way to our goal of 100 likes. But we're going to be live every single day at 1 p.m. Eastern. But going over this, as you can see here, BlackRock's been buying up quite a bit of Bitcoin for this ETF, still increasing its holding. That was on 119. I was going to see, I don't know if I have today's report. I think they might have sold a little bit over the weekend. But same with GBTC. You can see they've kind of come off of their holdings a bit. They peaked, looks like 112 last week, and came off of that. But for now, 552,000, man, Bitcoin holdings. It's insane for Grayscale. So crazy movements on that. This week, guys, earnings. A lot of earnings this week. Major earnings are obviously Netflix and Tesla, but a lot of these similar. 3M, Verizon, we have tomorrow at open. But everybody's going to be watching Netflix after hours, and then Tesla after hours on Wednesday. So if you don't know, you have Tesla and Netflix this week. You have Visa, obviously, this week as well. A lot of big earnings, but the biggest ones are definitely those two. I was gonna see. We got Texas Instruments. That'll be another pretty big one. And then, yeah, that looks about it. Interesting to see some airlines. Yeah, Alaska Airlines coming out too. It's gonna be interesting to see where these airline stocks go due to all the craziness that's been going on in the market. But we're gonna see here. Netflix, real quick, they are forecasting an EPS. So you can see here of 2.21. If we go back to last January, they had a 0.59. So that's a pretty awesome EPS forecast increase. So we'll see if they can hit on that. And then the previous revenue was 8.72 from last year, which was 7.84. So still nice increase. We'll see if those numbers can hit. If they don't, you know how Netflix gets. But Tesla's earnings this week, January 24th here, we got from last year 1.19 versus 0.72. So Tesla is off its all-time highs. We're going to see if that wants to maybe rebound from that if we get a better EPS report and a forecasting report that looks a little bit better for this year. But Elon's been speaking about some pretty interesting things around the Tesla company. But in this case, they did beat last year in January, so hopefully they beat again. You got 25 billion versus 24, so roughly the same, right? Roughly the same. So we'll see how that ends up affecting the market. But going into the charts, let's go take a look at Bitcoin, right? Mr. Bitcoin, how you doing, Mr. Bitcoin? Okay, it's what we talked about before, right? So we'll start with the majors, and we're going to go over your picks as you posted in the chat. So we really appreciate it, guys. Really quick, though, I did want to say, and I forgot to mention this, this Friday we're doing a $300 giveaway, as you can see in the pin chat. And we want to make sure we want to give it away the way you guys want it. So in this case, for the poll, I'm going to go ahead and ask how would you like us to give away $300? So now this is up to you guys, depending on how you want us to give it away. We'll say one $300 winner, and then at the end of the stream it'll determine, or three. For now, this is the way we're going to do it. And by the end of the stream, this will determine what we do this week. We'll also be giving away more fun things throughout the streaming life that we have here. So every week we're going to be giving away roughly $300. Whether that's items, we might vote on items as well. Like if you guys want like AirPods or something, we'll do stuff like that, roughly around the $300 mark as well, and we'll be able to get you guys what you want. But for now, $300, put your votes in. Do you want one $300 winner or $300 winners this Friday? So make sure you tune in yet again on Friday to know how to enter for that giveaway. So we'll make sure to keep you up to date on that. Now, going into Bitcoin weekly chart is something we talked about for a while here. And this is that fair value gap sitting down here. Now, if we were to pull up our oscillator matrix indicator, you can see we're still extremely extended, right? We were very extended at this move up here to this order block, and we've been coming off of that with the sell the news type event around the ETF, right? So in this case, let me just get rid of this. Get rid of these buy and sell buttons. I don't know why those are even on there. Bam, there you go. So in this case, guys, remember, coming off these order blocks, we always like to talk about how don't ignore the order blocks, especially on higher time frames. So in this case, we were rejecting 46836, right? And now, again, we were super extended on the on the oscillator matrix. And in this case, being that extended here, we definitely need some retracement to continue this potential up move. Now, we have the halving coming up in April, right? So in that case, if we have that coming in, we've been predicted, or we've been past, halvings. We've had a 50 to 70% increase, right? Going into that right now, from a year out, like we've been looking at each time. If we look from last April, and pretty much we judge this on the last April, roughly the 17th there, because that's the rough estimate. We're at 47%. So we really want to see this above probably that 40K mark before that halving comes, because then we'll know that it's a little bit more on track for that move, probably into the 60s or 70s, even eventually the all-time high yet again. So we're hoping for that nice increase. we have seen a 200% repetitive increase after a halving event. So in this case, if we were marking 200%, and this is a big reason why people are predicting that 100K mark this year, is because of the halving. But here you go. Here's 200% for you of an increase. It's $132,000 dollars per Bitcoin, which would be absolutely insane. So who knows if it will actually go that high, but I do think we have a potential, past the halving to at least break new all-time highs. But for now, on the lower time, or on the, the current state that we're in, we really think a retracement to the below 40K and the 39,000. We could go as low as 38,000. I think we do have some key high volume support back here, sitting around 37. And as you can see, even the Neo Cloud sitting up around 36. So I do think we're definitely going to touch that 39,000 fair value gap that we have there from this recent pump in early December there. But in this case, we're not too bullish on the current time frame. So if we go back to the daily here, you can even see we have broken below this this Neo Cloud, which is what we want to see. You can see we're trying to extend. We've been extremely bullish here on the hyperwave above 50 for a while, right? It's been decreasing as the high's been taking higher highs. Finally had some bearish price action come in. So we might see that extension below that 20 level for an oversold type territory, which would, in my opinion, would indicate a retracement back to these highs that we struggled before we had that big move. So if we were to kind of take this off for a second here, I'm going to take off the fair value gaps as well, so we have something here. We are currently trying to break these lows. Now, we do have a low here sitting at 40,150 before we broke through that new high. So that's kind of what we're watching as of now. As you can see, we do have a 37% order block sitting down here at 35, 36K. That's a target we're definitely looking for. But in this case, even on a Fibonacci here, it's not too bad of an area to be holding that support. You can see it's bounced before from that actual swing low we had before the breakout. But if we were to take an actual swing low from this low, which is something that you definitely want to be looking at too at the same time, notice the start of this bigger moves, Fibonacci, the 382, does line up with the 618, so that could confirm support. But notice the 50% retracement lines up close to that previous high around 38K. So I really like 38,000 for a potential downside target before getting that move back up to the upside on potentially the halving in April. So we'll see if we can get a rough, pullback here before we get any type of continuation. Now, in this case, let me see here. I'm going to take off the smart trail for a moment. In this case here, we do have the Neo Cloud starting to step down. We have bearish candles, right? So this is a good sign of it being definitely bearish on the short term, and definitely potentially retesting the 38K mark, which is what I'm really looking for. So keep your eyes peeled for the 38K. If we go into the 4 hour here, you can see we've been quite bearish trading below the Neo Cloud, which is something I really like to see for stronger trends, especially on certain time frames. If we're trading below and not inside, it's usually a lot stronger trend confirmation in that case. But again, we're at key support, so if you really want to trade this properly, that 40K mark is going to be something you really want to watch for a break. And then I think you got plenty of room, a lot of imbalance to fill right here all the way down to that 38K mark. So we'll see if we get 38K. But in this case, let's hop over to our next major asset. Like we always talk about, we want to look at all the majors. We're going to look at NQ real quick. For those of you that requested MNQ, we're going to look over everything on the wheel of analysis here in just a sec. Before we go over the majors, we're going to look at NQ, we're going to look at gold next, and then we're going to look at some in oil as well. And then we're kind of get into some of the smaller ones you want. But guys, let's get up to 100 likes. We're at 64. We're almost there. And it's just the start of the stream. So we appreciate you being here. If you're new to the stream, hit that subscribe button and hit the like, because we want to get there. We want to get to the 100 like goal for the day. And again, Friday, guys, we're doing our giveaway right now. It's a close race so far. Still 62% on the $300 winners. Make sure to vote by the end of the stream. And that's what we'll do on Friday. So NQ obviously breaking out majorly. We've been seeing this for a while, especially with all these tech stocks having quite a rally. But notice what's quite interesting here is the divergence being formed on the oscillator, which it's a good start to potentially a reversal, right? It's a good start to a reversal front. We've been bullish for a while. We bounced off of, and again, for those of you that don't trade bull or bear flags, this is why you trade them, because they're very effective if done properly. That is a textbook bull flag break into a new all-time high, so always watch out for that potential setup. We saw it on gold when it hit 2K. We've seen it on Bitcoin several other times. So in this case, guys, always watch for that kind of setup. But NQ, again, extremely, extremely extended. Vincent, we're live every day now, man. 1 p.m. EST. So you better come back tomorrow. We'd love to see you again. But in this case, guys, NQ breaking those all-time highs. What do we like to see? We like to see support, right? We like to see support over highs. And guess what happened? We found that support and we rallied through that high. So in this case, we need some structure breaking before we consider a short position, right? We do have, obviously, end of the month here. We're going to have some interest rate talk coming up too. So, the outcast for interest rates in 2024 is talking about potential cuts, which is something you definitely want to look at. And we're going to look at Ethereum here in just a sec, guys. So potential cuts, this year, and that's going to be a major watch, especially for the year. But starting out this year, hitting all-time highs is absolutely incredible. This is also for the U.S. is the election year, so that's going to cause some volatility in the market, depending on how it goes. So for those of you that aren't trading U.S. assets, it's still going to affect Bitcoin. So pay attention to any crypto side of things with what's going on during the U.S. election this year. So we'll keep you up to date, obviously, as we're going to stream every day from now on. So in this case, for Ethereum, for the NASDAQ sitting lovely above those highs. I'm not short until those highs break, right? So we have a swing point to consider here, very minor, around 16. I would just say the low 16,335 there. But here you go. You have a previous high as well. So if it can get below that 16,000 mark on the NASDAQ, then I would consider a decent retracement. But for now, there's no reason to get out of anything on that's related to the NASDAQ or the NASDAQ in general. For the longer term, daily, same situation. You can see here, even on this retracement, the oscillator reset and rallied again. It's something I would never say, hey, this is the top. No, you would want to just hold on tight and let this thing ride, right? In this case, hey, thanks, Mickey, for showing that in there. Yeah, if you have questions about the indicators, feel free to check the link in the description of the live stream as well. You'll see all the ones that we are using on the stream in there too. 81 likes, guys. We're almost there. We're 20 away, or 19 or whatever. So let's go over to the Ethereum, right? If I can spell it. ETH, okay? So in this case, this is great. I love this. I love where we're at on this. For Ethereum, right? We're retesting resistance, right? Does this treat it as support? That's what we're really going to be watching in the current days here. Is this going to be continued to be treated as support? We were trying to bounce off these highs around 2,400. Remember, on stream for the longest time, we were talking about that 2,500 mark was our target. That was our target. Was 2,500, right? So we blew through that, hit the 2,700 mark. Now, as you can see, we're retesting resistance. Now, if I were to take a fib on this breakout from its low, notice what's lining up with resistance. It is that golden pocket of the 50% and the 618 retracement, which is why we watch, right? We sit and we watch. We want to see if this thing can break back up through that 2,500 before considering any type of aggressive upside move. Now, you could consider a bull flag formation coming into play here, but based on this downwards, the lows, trending down, it currently has broken this. So today is going to determine whether or not this truly wants to hold here or not. So I would see if today Ethereum does want to hold over like the 2,400, or even like getting back up here at 24.5 would be really nice. But 2,400 is essentially what we want to watch. But this is nothing I would be necessarily short on, since we are retesting these highs here in this current uptrend, especially on the daily. So I wouldn't worry about being short at the moment. But in this case, big reasoning behind taking a or targeting, right, the 2,500 mark was because of this previous high volume support here, right? We had a high volume support roughly at 2,500. Notice here, if I were to just take out these candles and kind of move a box over there, you can see this volume, this level here, strong volume. It got completely destroyed with very high volume when it hit these lows. But now look at it treating it as resistance. So this is exactly what we like to look for when we're plotting some levels, right? Besides that, we look for swing points like this order block up here. So we do think if we can get a clean break through 2,500 and hold that price point, there's no reason for this not to hit 3,000, not to go retest this order block at 3,400. That would be my upper target, so long as 2,500 could hold. But 2,500 was always that position, or always that level in which we were a little skeptical about due to these previous lows that were pretty high volume traded levels. So for now, that's what I would focus on Ethereum. On a weekly chart, right? So we want to see that breakout. But on that daily, we're really, really focused on bouncing off of these previous highs at 23 here. So we'll see if today we can close over 2,400. And I like the continuation, right? But what do you guys think? What do you like on Ethereum? Do you like this retracement here? Because I mean, it's definitely the price action is very clean right now, which is good. It's what we want to see. But branching off of this, let's jump into oil real fast. And this is something, like I talked about, I've been long at these lows for a while now, especially the low 70s, due to the quarter one production was predicted to be a lot less. In this case, I'm targeting, the 80s, probably this upper order block here. But, we're retesting those highs now. We're from below 72. It looks like we could, go ahead and retest at least 76. I do want to see if we can make a breakout here. That's pretty much what we're watching now. We've had a great 15-minute run. We're, back at these highs from this range we've been stuck in. So, again, this is something where I do want to see a close over, this previous high of 75.25. So that's a great little number there. Where is this break of structure? Hey, young traders, I will gladly look at silver if you agree to stop spamming. So just say, yes, I agree, and I will look over silver for you. Because that is a major that we would love to look at in comparison to Bitcoin. But I see the chat, so you don't have to spam it, but I appreciate it. Let's see, someone said head and shoulders on oil. What time frame are you looking at, Fame? Because we can definitely look at it as well. But in this case, right now, a head and shoulders would be bearish, right? Inverse head and shoulders is bullish in this case. You kind of got conflicting. And Crown World, we will. Anything that's on this wheel, right? Anything that's on this wheel will be analyzed today. So just wait. We're going to go over that in just a second as we go over these majors. But here you go. You have the breakout of 75, so we're looking for. This could have been a head and shoulder setup, but that is a bearish setup. But now we are breaking that structure, as you can see there, as well as here. So oil could stay over 75.25. I think we're going to at least retest 76. That's my breakout I'm watching is 76, getting it back into this play, especially after this clean support, after this high volume level below 70. That was a big reason why I went long, is very high volume level below 70. So silver we'll look at really fast, and then we're going to look over gold. Silver here, I don't know what type of swing you're looking for, but as you can see right now, extremely bearish on silver. We're retesting this lower order block, and we'll look at gold to be very similar. We rejected these highs quite perfectly. So if we get through, 22, it looks like if we can flush 22, I think you're going to go retest those lows at 21 actually. And then you have an order block sitting down here at 2031. But in this case, that's for the daily. If you look at the weekly chart, it's been in consolidation for a while, but that's pretty typical for these commodities. But in this case, let's look at the 4 hour here, and then we're going to look over gold. Yet again, bearish, very strong bearish trend is currently forming. That 22 mark is what I would watch right now for potential buyers to step in. If not, if you go back to the daily here, you can even see, let's just pull this range when it started. This broke that structure. Here's that range. So if I wanted to pull a volume profile, which is something that's always good to look at. Do fixed volume profile range here, and it would be from the start of this range to the end of this range. And you'll see here we broke down below, that value area. So there's a lot less liquidity down here, especially from this range. So more than likely, you're going to have a lot more aggressive sellers coming in to kind of take out these levels. So first off, I would identify, this 21 price, and then I'm going for the 20 price, right? So that's what I would look for now. Watch for 21. See if 22 can hold, but right now it doesn't look like it's going to hold. Let's look at gold. Mr. Gold. Wait, I have it on here. Pop. Here we go. I haven't looked at AVEX yet. We will. This board we're going to take over here in just a sec. 30-minute mark. We'll take over that board and go over all your Go over all your ones that you picked today. All right. And again, we'll be back tomorrow to go over even more. So don't worry. We will be back tomorrow. But in just a sec, 30-minute mark, we will go over the and that's 30-minute on the board here, not on the stream. So the stream we're at 35 minutes. But when that charting hits 30, we'll start going over y'all's suggestion. All right. So gold right now. This is something we discussed quite a bit last week. We've been holding above the Neo Cloud, something we really, really liked. So long as that Neo Cloud wants to hold, and in this case, it does. It is trying to hold. And I'm looking over real quick. Sorry, I got to respond to something really fast. All right. But for gold, yes, holding this 2022 mark, which is what we talked about. We've been discussing this quite a bit. And even looking at this, look, higher low is being formed, and it's still being formed, right? If we take off several Fibonacci retracements off of this recent high, you can see that 618 is holding. You take one again. This is how you see if a level is actually a little bit more confident on these retracements. Is it's okay to pull multiple Fibonacci's in this case. That wick there, I'm not, because it didn't have much high volume trading, I don't really consider that a level to really confirm. But if we take multiple swing points here into action, you can see the 618 and the 50% level is being treated here as multiple levels of support. So that is lining up with this BOS, which is what I really, really like. So in this case, this BOS here, which is a previous high, right, I would consider my area to hold above, right? So if gold wants to hold this area, the low of that is 2005. So honestly, I would say as low as 2000. If it wants to hold 2000, this thing I would be leaning more bullish on. This right now, I would say roughly, I mean, this is a good identity down here. We got a trend strength of 61%. That's a great essential idea around how bullish we would be on this. So 61% is how bullish we are on this. So there's a 40% chance this does break lower, right? But so long as it holds that 2K mark, I think we'll be super solid. Guys, we're 8 likes away from the 100 goal. So hit that like, smash the like button, and subscribe if you're new to the stream. We're going to be going live every single day at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see you tomorrow as well. But again, 2,000 mark on gold. That's what we're watching for now. If we go to the 4-hour, essentially, here you go. There is, and this we talked about this as well, there is a potential head and shoulders in a way, or sorry, inverse head and shoulders formation coming into play here. Here would be your shoulder, here would be your head, and there's the neckline in which you'd want to see is roughly right there. So in this case, or sorry, is roughly, at these lows. I would say right where that BOS is. In this case, it is holding up. But if this sets a higher low, then you might get that breakout to go retest the 20,050 level. In my opinion, I wouldn't look long on this if you aren't long already. If you're already long, this is a hold. If you're not long, I would look over 20,040 for your long position, as long as it can hold above that price if it breaks out. And then after that, you're going for 2050, 2060 would be my first targets. And then, of course, we have this upper order block as well, sitting above 2070. So for that, I really like it there. Now, another big reason gold is trying to hold this 2K mark is because of this weekly time frame. Now, if we were to actually pull this swing point yet again to this high, because it's an actual, in this case, weekly time frame, I'd like that for a weekly high. because it's, this is a very high volume traded candle, more so than that one day that it spiked, right? So in this case, you have the 382 lining up with the previous high. You do have, resistance that formed there before several times. So if we were to just take this, little gap here from the body close right here, there you go. That's roughly where you want to see your support, which lines up perfectly with the 2K mark. From this high break that it tried to hit, and, roughly hit 2K there. But in this case, that's pretty much what you want to see. Is the 2000 mark holding? And then again, you have plenty of targets to the upside, like 2050 and then 2070s is what I would really look for on gold. So this is a hold in the time being until that 2000 mark does break. But for now, yeah, that's what we're looking at. Just want to make sure we covered majority of what we look at here on the majors. We'll go back over Bitcoin yet again because a lot of you I know are here for Bitcoin. So for now, what we discussed here is on the weekly was our biggest view that we liked. And we have a fair value gap on Bitcoin sitting at, as you can see here, the 50% on that is at 39,294. We do think that 40K will get cleared on a retracement on the weekly. Now, if 40K does hold, though, it's a very good sign that we're going to get a continuation to the upside. So it's pretty much watching to see if that 40K wants to hold or not. And, we just go with what the chart tells us. For now, it's definitely a hold on Bitcoin. I think we do get a retracement to kind of reset this. Now, this oscillator, though, our oscillator will reset, right? It would come down regardless if it hits 40K or not. It can come down. So in this case, if we get an oscillator reset, we want to see some type of consolidation between like 42,000 and 40K, right? So we want to see some type of consolidation like that. That's going to give enough time for the buyers and sellers to settle off, right? Their little battle they're having right now. And then eventually, come the halving, we'll probably get that pop yet again to go retest this order block like we discussed before. So maybe we'll hit that 50K mark come April. That'd be really awesome. But in this case, let's see if 40K wants to hold or if we actually do want to retest these lows. But I'd be a little bit more bearish than bullish in the current state that Bitcoin is in, especially on the daily here. But again, I don't think we could see this thing going lower than 38K due to these highs and a lot of traded volume there. But, this is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin can do whatever it wants. You can have a big seller come in and dump out before the halving, but I doubt anybody is going to aggressively dump before the halving. It's really going to be interesting to see as we review this every day. So to stay up to date on stuff like this, guys, make sure to check out our Twitter. We're constantly posting on that every single day, multiple times a day to keep you updated on current assets we're looking at, as well as a lot of cryptos we're looking at, right? So we got about 3 minutes, and we're going to go over the wheel of analysis for you guys. But again, yes, Cha-Cha on the Bitcoin Daily. That is if, though, Fame, that is if it closes below this level, right? So right now, it's a temporary Chach until this daily candle closes, right? So we want to wait on that candle close, and then maybe we'll see that sell off. But in this case, for gold or for Bitcoin, definitely looking to see some of this imbalance get filled. Definitely bearish on the daily. If we go to the 4 hour here, you can even see we got a lot of lows being treated here. We're breaking through this order block now. Not a clean reaction. We did have one roughly here, but again, if we ever have a clean reaction off an order block, we want to see a bullish setup. But what do you see? You see lower highs being formed, and they go retest that order block. So this is why we really like this next high volume area here to be watching, and that starts at 38K there, right? So in this case, let's even go down to even like a 15-minute chart, see how we're doing intraday today, and you can see the NeoCloud was bearish all day. It retested, it broke down, right? Bounced off this previous swing point that we had last Friday, right? Bounced off of it, retested, broke out, closed back down. Still a bearish NeoCloud. In my opinion, I want to see a bullish NeoCloud form for taking any considerable long trades in this situation, right? If price ever trades through a NeoCloud, it's usually considered that it's not very bullish nor bearish, in my opinion. You can see here that, I mean, this is after hours volume, so it's a little bit consolidated. But in this case, look here, you had, a few hours of sideways trading. We want to see it trade outside of that neocloud to be, as bearish as possible. This is a 15-minute, right? We always recommend looking at higher time frames for your overall analysis. And of course, guys, if you are coming into trading, this is something. Oh, we hit 100 likes, guys. Awesome. We hit our 100 like goal for the day. I think we almost hit 200 last week. So we definitely want to get eventually going for that 200 like goal. But we appreciate you guys being here. If you're new to the stream, make sure to hit subscribe. We'll be going live every single day at 1 p.m. EST. And making sure y'all are up to date on the current market conditions in Bitcoin and or crypto stocks, and everything that you might need in a live stream about the markets. But yeah, I mean, guys, day trading is great. I know a lot of people love the idea of day trading, right? It can be very lucrative if you aren't very emotional around it. Remember, 80% comes out of the indicators. Indicators can give you the 80% edge that you need, but the other 20% has to come from your mental state. You got to have the right mindset to be able to be specifically a day trader. Now, long-term trading is overall the easiest type of trading. So if you are a long-term trader, you need to understand just value. What do you consider Bitcoin a good value at purchasing and a good value at selling? In this case, all of us are very long-term traders, and we want to look for a good value in which we should buy Bitcoin. Now, again, back in COVID, when Bitcoin was almost 5,000, if you were able to buy it, well, again, why? I mean, who wouldn't after it had that run to roughly? I don't think we had like a 30-40K run that the year before, but again, there's something that you need to pay attention to the value in these long terms, and then again, the indicators as well. What are the indicators telling us? In this case, it's telling us that it's extended. So, waiting for a retracement for a proper entry, well, we can just be patient and then consider our entry accordingly. So, let's get into the wheel of analysis, starting off with sand. All right, sand it is. Whoever mentioned sand, hopefully you're still here, but sand USD, going on to Coinbase in this case. Now, again, some of these that you see today more than likely haven't been traded enough on a weekly chart to fully look at it, so we will be starting a lot of time with a daily and going into that as well. So, sand, this looks similar to the Solana chart. I'm not too familiar with sand, so maybe it is on the Solana network. I do not know. But if we just look at the overall analysis, that's what we want to watch out for, right? So in this case, right, we are holding support over a previous high, which is exactly what you want to see. We're setting lower highs though, which is a bearish state in which we might want to consider not necessarily going long, right? But if we look at a daily here, and this comes down to the technology as well. This sand under 50 cents for now from this recent pump looks like a good value. We talked about long-term values, right? Talking about long-term values. Now, I would have to look into the tech of this and who's using it, what it could be used for, stuff like that, do my due diligence. But in this case, under 50 cents based on the average volume traded seems like a very good price, especially from this recent run up to 67 there. Now, if we're going for the trading front on a daily time frame, this thing I would not be bullish on until we clear 50 cents yet again. We are pulling back into this, right? We have a recent swing point that we could pull from. And you can see we have broke through the 618. If I were to pull it, to its body close, you're still testing the 618. So in this case, I would just pull it to the high. So again, you're going to want to get through that retracement level. Now, this is sitting, roughly 70% retracement. It's on support. It's on a previous resistance, as you can see, for sand here. So this is something right now that you're pretty much waiting for these lows to hold. Now, obviously, if Bitcoin breaks down, this will probably follow it. But in this case, to be bullish on this, 50 cents is going to have to come back into play. Now, in my opinion, remember, I don't like trading inside the Neo. So if we're out, I would want to be outside that Neo at 53 cents. So over 53 cents, I think you will see that bullish, you'll see that next structure break after we had one here. And then we would probably continue into the higher 60s yet again. So in this case, that for sand in the current time frame, I'm not bullish on. I would be bearish in the time being. You can see we're trading outside the Neo on the 4-hour. We did bounce off this order block that lines up with previous highs. So again, this is kind of no man's land right now. I want to see a proper structure break to the upside. I would say due to the daily chart, it would be 53. I would be aggressively bullish on. Is Bitcoin cracking? Ooh. Let's see. We'll pay attention to this, and what I'll do here. It's almost retested 40K, so let's add an alert. We really think that 40K is going to break. Let me just put this at 40,000. So we'll keep an eye on that as we're continuing to stream. But for now, sand. Remember, still bearish on sand unless it gets over that 53 price point. But other than that, I'll give you a downwards price. Whoever put this on the board for us, let's give you. That's right, Sandbox. Let's give you a downwards target right now. Downwards target would be right at this high volume body breakout where this BOS is sitting. 44 cents. I would just say 44. Downwards target still similar to this low, like this had it here, right? 43.61. I would say that would be your downwards target. If not, wait to see if we can get a breakthrough 50. But other than that, 53 is where I would like a personal buy if I were to actually buy it. So that is sand. Let's go on to the next one. What we got? Wow, right next is sand. LYX. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I want. LUX. Lux, baby. LuxAlgo for life. All right. I'm going to assume this is probably... That's the spot. I will do probably KuCoin's probably the best. Okay. This is good volume. Nice. If it's a low volume one, by the way, guys, we won't analyze it. So we'll replace it with one of your suggestions if it's a very low volume traded thing. But this looks like a pretty decent daily chart, so we'll go over this. Now, the one thing I don't like right now is the fact that, okay, we don't have a Neo yet because it's still new. So on the daily, one thing I don't like right now is the fact that it is testing a previous higher low, right? In this case, that's a proper structure movement. Now, retesting this, I would want to see support right now over, I think, $9.50. If today can close roughly $9.50, I mean, I could give you down to $9.25. If you can close where it's at, that'd be really good. As you can see, like always, we have these, these highs to play off of. I'm not bullish, though, if it does go and retest these highs. Let's see here, even on the fib. I mean, you have the 618 lining up with that, so it is good. But in this case, essentially what you'll probably want to see, and I'll even pull it from this actual aggressive swing low here. Yeah, it's just, if we extend it as far as 819 maybe, if we were to pull it from here, you can see the 618 does line up with those highs. But again, I think 870 would be the price point in which we would want to see here. We went over ETH already. So if you want to look at the Ethereum one, just go to the beginning of the stream. It was one of the first ones we looked at today. So in this case, on LYX, again, I think you could get that retracement to 870. These are these highs here. But if it does want to hold 950, 945, we set as low as 925, which today had a low of 924, so it is trying to hold that price. You could consider this a level in which it'd be worth continuing to hold. But none of this sell-off through this support here, this is kind of your last level in which would be worth holding, right? In this case, if it does bounce off here, I would want to see it break back above that Neo Cloud at 1066, but I could see it having a lower high somewhere around this previous resistance it had, right where that change of character lines up. and then a reject and sell off back to $8.50. So that's something I'm still would be pretty bullish on. Sadly, crypto today is bullish, with Bitcoin trying to break 40K. Some of these might not be. So hopefully we can run into one that's not very bearish. Sorry, I'm going to say bearish on the day. But, crypto tends to move together. So on to the next one. Man, I'm just spinning this the same amount of speed. All right, here we go. There we go. Double it down. Double it down. Give me something good. Give me something good. Ape. All right. Mr. Ape. Ape coin on Coinbase. Let's go to the daily. Okay, this one looks a little bit better because it's selling off a bit. For this state, because it's been trading at such these lows for the NEO, I'm going to drop the NEO down to 1. Something I would recommend doing if you have something aggressively selling off like this. And honestly, I'm not even going to consider the NEO. The NEO is very, very good for anything that's been trading for a pretty long time. As you can see here, like even on the 1 sensitivity, it does pretty good, especially for aggressive downtrends. But because this has been pretty much just getting hammered, these lower cap type of trading assets are not the best for the longer term trend following type situation. So I wouldn't recommend using the NEO unless you have more data. And honestly, you could use the NEO Cloud on like a 15-minute for this for Ape, but I wouldn't use it on like a daily for now, just because there's not enough information on Ape just yet to kind of give you a really good analysis. In this case, we're seeing some similar retracement ideas here, which is something I wouldn't be too bullish on. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be bullish. Actually, you know what we should do? Hold on. Let me do this. Let's bring up Bitcoin over here. We're going to pull up our pal Bitcoin over here. Let's go to the 15-minute. There you go. We'll keep Bitcoin over here, see if it actually wants to flush 40 or not. It's really trying to hold support on that high volume order block there. Or, sorry, this previous level as a 15-minute. I keep forgetting. From Friday, so we'll see if it does. Keeps breaking it, but in this case, I'll just leave Bitcoin there. I'll kind of stretch this out a bit so we see it. All right, so for Ape, right, 15-minute chart. This is where we can bring in the. We could bring in the. See, this volume's a little rough, so let's just stay on the daily. Similar situation, right? This has been getting absolutely hammered. If I go to the weekly, you can see here, and let me make sure I have the time frame off here. I'm going to keep Bitcoin on 15 minutes so we can see it. There you go. So here's the weekly. There's no really considerable level on Ape that I like for a good value, right? Not really great value, especially that it doesn't really care about these. It took 1 week to break a new low, right? Back in June. So in this case right now, not any good value. I would consider this. If we look at the daily time frame for now, holding 130 is your best bet right now. I would be bearish on it in the current state due to the fact that it did break this swing low. And it's, trying to hold support, but still struggling. Now, obviously this is on the analysis front. So this is not something I would consider, full on trading. In my opinion, I wouldn't hold this unless you think they've got some decent tech that has come out recently, but due to the overall movement of this, it's not great. 4 hour, there you go. Same level support. 130s is always good. You can see there, it's pretty much showing high volume at the 130s. Probably why it bounced off of that originally. You had some decent support twice and a resistance level kind of lining up, bounced, rejected. I do think if it tests 130 again, it's probably going to flush this low. So if it does flush that low, more than likely you're going to see it at least retest. Man, there's a lot of imbalance here on this recent pump. You might go as far as 111. I wouldn't be too happy about this one. If it can break 125, this thing's probably gone. So we'll see. Not a huge fan of Ape, but appreciate you asking about it. So in this case, bearish. I would say if you're going to be bullish on Ape, 170, it has to get over this high. that high there, 167.5. That's where I would target. On to the next one. Give me something good. All right, AVAX. Perfect. That's a good one. AVAX. So Avalanche. You already know what's up. All right, Avalanche been trading very well recently. Obviously on the daily we had that big pump with Bitcoin, which has been really good. In this state, let's go to the weekly really fast because this is something I really do like on Avalanche. Avalanche is lining up, right? Let's just pull a fib here, which is good to note. Avalanche is lining up nearly perfect with that 50% retracement as well as a previous high. So we're kind of getting to a level that might be worth buying so long as the overall crypto market is showing us some bullish setups, right? So in this case, $30 is almost perfect. This is $29.50. So between $30 and $29.50 is pretty much what we want to see, right? For a bounce. And we haven't really had a clean bounce, right? What we like to see for on a weekly chart is something that shows us clean bullish price action. So seeing this here, we have a very large upper wick, decently sized lower wick, not very bullish on that day. So right now, we want to see a nice candle body form to the upside. In this case, for 2024, for AVAX, I would say is if that 30-cent level can hold. Let me pull up to the 4-hour here. I just hate that we still have these imbalances to fill. 30-cent. I didn't mean to say that. $30 level. Let's watch that $30 level for sure. So weekly, right? So it's a great value. Look at where we're at here, right? So we're at these lows, right? So here you go. This is a case where right now for this year, if $30 wants to hold and right now with Bitcoin potentially having that big rally through April and past April for this year, I mean, my first initial target if Avalanche sets up similar to what we see on Bitcoin with this setup and it wants to hold over this high, lines up with a nice 50% retracement. To get that breakout would be ideal. That would be what I would look for, but I would then target this high here of 53. 50 or high. This key support that easily got flushed. It's an imbalance as well. 53 would be my overall target, right? In this case, 53 looks like it's fair. That's a fair price to target for this year, right? Now above that, we have a very nice order block sitting at 96. That's very optimistic, though. 90s would be pretty optimistic other than if, some big news comes out for Avalanche. But based on this current volume, it's really good. There's a lot of, this is a very good interest peak we have here. So for the year, I would more so target these lows so long as we have a good move in this state. So we'll see here shortly. But for a second here, let's see if we get that, that nice breakout and hold above $30. And then let's see the 4-hour really fast here. 4-hour here, I would want to get through 33.50. So 33.50, I would start to look at this as a potential opportunity. So, let's see if we can get over that price point, right? So 33.50 was what I would watch. Let's move on to the next one. If we were to go bullish, right? Give me Sol. All right, we'll go to the next one that lines up. SOL, baby. This is the one I've been waiting on. I love Solana. All right. Solana, right? Kind of similar to Avalanche in a way. Moved a little bit more aggressively. So in this state, here you go. This is a big reason why you don't want to ignore order blocks, right? We went into this very, very high volume order block here above 120. Normally we target the lows of these order blocks, so 112 would have been our overall target for that first move, right? So right now on this movement here, man, Bitcoin does not want to go retest 40. I mean, that's good. It's a good sign. This movement here, a healthy retracement, right? I think it would be retesting this previous lower low it set before it came down here, had that high volume level. And again, this is where, the tech comes into play, keeping an eye on the news, considering the overall chart in which what's good value. Sol was great value. This is confirmed now that a good value level was around below $40, right? Where it kind of ICO'd there back in June of 21. Or sorry, this is Coinbase, right? So it probably came out earlier than that, but when it came onto Coinbase back in, that below $40, great value to be holding this. So if you're in below 30 or below 40, sorry. If you're in below 40, I would hold on. If you're in below 50, of course, you should hold it as well. But in this case, you have this lower low, high volume level sitting up here after a clear break of structure and nice imbalances that got filled on this rally, right? So in this case, we want to respect certain levels that came into account yet again. So if we were to actually mark off that break of structure point and that low, look here, we had a weekly reject of that low there. So right now, in this current retracement with Bitcoin, I would consider the $77 range to be a decent level to look for. Honestly, I don't know if it would actually touch that. So like set, $80 would be a really awesome target for this. But in this case, this is a very aggressive move. Fibonacci's not 100% ideal in this case. But your 50% retracement comes as low as 70 there, 71.50. But for now, I don't think it would actually extend that low, to be honest. Let's go to the daily. Let's take a look. So daily, this is that next level of resistance, right? So he said 86, an awesome entry. Honestly, I wouldn't consider 86 right now to be the best entry. Obviously, below 100 so far on Solana seems pretty good. Wake you up, Brian. Just let me know how I can wake you up, man. I'm glad to do it. Just turn on your volume to like 200%, and I'll wake you up when it breaks 40. Hopefully, we'll see if it does. We need a reset here if we want to actually continue. In this case, though, I would say good value is 80, closer to the $80 in this current trend, right? Now, that does come off of previous lows, right? We had this low area that we're watching. Remember, that also was resistance in the past before it had that big rally. This is a great level. We have some imbalance that was sitting there that did get filled originally. But look, if we pull up our fair value gaps again, you should see an imbalance sitting roughly right here. So right now we are testing this imbalance. We haven't fully mitigated it. Now, next level is down to this 80 imbalance, which I do like, right? That's probably, I would say, somewhere in the low 80s. And, if you pull a Fibonacci before this last break of structure, you can see the 618 lines up there as well. So it's definitely a decent spot to look for a good value level, so long as it wants to show you. Now, I wouldn't consider this a buy if it just hits it, right? Because it could flush right through that. In this case, I would want it if it actually treats this 1 or 2 days like a week or so. It treats, the rough 80s as support. But if you're somebody that's a long-term buyer like I am, like I personally would pick some up when it hits below 80 or around 80. So that's something that I would look for. It's like I would pick if I'm already in this down here and I want to resize in and add to my size, that's where a good value would be in this current run that we had. So below 80 on Solana, I really like. If we go to the 4 hour, something more intraday based, you could even see, look at all this imbalance here from this recent pump that it can easily fill left around. Just a lot of value was left there, right? It's pretty inevitable that more than likely, it already broke, so right. So with this coming down, it broke these lows, right? Now, if this steps in, if you're more of an intraday trader, 2-day trader, right? This for long-term traders, I would want to say below 70, right? If you're a 4 hour and lower type trader, like we go to the 1 hour, This level right now is a level I would highly watch. You can see here we do have a 1 hour order block sitting here that's been treated several times. It's been treated there. It's been treated there. If price can break out of this 1 hour order block, we get a bullish change of character, something like this on Solana. We get it break out, right? If it can get out of this, find support roughly around $88, I would say you could technically intraday trade 88 to 90, 92, 93, maybe go retest the 93 level. But that's if you're intraday, right? So that's what I would look for on intraday. Otherwise, I really think that level we marked off here would be your, he's got a big bag of bonk. We need a shirt that says, I have a big bag of bonk. That's pretty awesome. I have big bags of soul, too big. Hey, if you have big bags of soul that are, below 50, I mean, great job. Just great job. You're sitting pretty. You are sitting pretty. In this case, yeah, I'm probably gonna go over everything either way, Mickey. So it's all good. It's all good. We'll get the timing down a little bit. So on to the next one. Mickey said time's almost up. But in this case, we'll make sure we touch everything that we said we would. So Pyth, Mr. Python. Let's see. Depending on the volume on this so far, I'll do Bybit. Okay, cool. Bybit obviously is usually going to have a high traded volume on these. Let's go to the daily. Whoa. Okay. Not a big fan of the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. 4 hour would be our first stage. So this actually, 4 hour looks good. Nice little retracement here. Okay. So I'm actually going to pull up. Do we have a NeoCloud yet? We do. Beautiful. All right. In this case, so Pyth, this actually price action super clean right now, right? We do have a bullish NeoCloud forming on that 4 hour. Now, if I go to the daily, it's just there's not enough data to fully analyze what's going on. But for now, all right, on Pyth, this looks very good, right? We're showing, I mean, honestly, look at this. Let's do this. Let's pull fixed range here really quick. This is Bybit Exchange. Let's pull the fixed range right now. So here you go. Here's your high volume traded levels, right? It broke back into this high volume fixed range here, right? So this is, the value range that we like to see where high volume might occur. So being inside of this is a good sign, especially breaking up into it is a good sign for the bullish volume to kick in. A lot of traded volume between, this 33 cent and the 47 cent level. So if this does hold, continues to hold above these highs, it's a very good spot to consider your potential short-term entries, right? Good value on a 4 hour time frame. Now you are bouncing off of the NeoCloud here. I'm not very familiar with how this trades. If this is trading alongside Bitcoin, I would obviously be careful, but it doesn't seem like it is just based on it being up just recently here. Hasn't fully sold off just with Bitcoin, so this looks good as it's trading outside of it. Now, you do have a decent imbalance that's sitting here, but it did wick it, right? So for now, again, this over 38 cents that Pyth as a whole. This thing, next target would be the top of that value range of 48 cents. Look where the order block's sitting as well, 48 cents. So that would be my TP point on a shorter time frame if you're looking to actually just get out of this on a decent run. But for now, looks really solid for this little bit of a retracement here. If we pull up this, look at the high, bullish overflow. What I really like here too, look at this. Look what happened. It broke highs got broken here on this pump, on this breakout. So this is a good reset here. If we get a nice turning point with some bullish volume, I think you're going to easily go test like 48. So pay attention, right? Pay attention to that 37 cents. Pay attention to that. If it breaks below 35 or 36 cents, then I would be bearish, okay? So as long as it's above 37 cents, I would hold to see if you can get that retest because you're inside the high volume range. So that's really good. On to the next one. On to the next one. Again, give me another one. Give me another one. Nope. No, no, no. Let's see if we get this right. Come on, baby. All right, Uni. We'll just go to Unibot. Goodness gracious. Bear with me. Now, this is going to be interesting. Is this? I guess it is spelled that way. This one we might not go over. Well, that one's not bad. That's not terrible. All right, Bitcoin's trying to break down. Let me see. There's a better. So the problem is with these lower cap cryptos is the volume's so low on it. I'll go back to this one. All right, same situation here. You broke out. You're testing this. Yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin, for those of you that don't know, is sitting right here. We're watching to see if it wants to break that 40K. So it's right there on the screen. Yeah, look at the oscillator set a lower high. This way. Oscillator set a lower high there on the so the trend could be changing, right? This is the 15-minute. So it looks like it wants to break to the downside, right? So I think 40K, we might see it here live on stream. See if we get it. So Unibot, I'm gonna do this really quick because this one's very low volume trade. This is more so find the news, trade the news, see if you like it type thing. Daily, great retracement level, retesting these highs. Look here. Look where that lines up. 50% retracement. It's beautiful. If it bounces off of 76, it's a hold. If it breaks below 53, I mean that's a huge range, but that's where I'd be bearish. I'd consider this more of a long-term type trade. Once again, that's why I like trading long-term. This is what I don't like about it. 4-hour did previously bounce off here. That's what we talk about. It did previously bounce off of these highs, and now it's going to retest it. So I would be bearish, actually short-term. On the 4-hour, I'd be bearish down to 60. 60 would be my low target right now. That's what I would look for, is the target of 60. If it wants to hold 74 again, if it can get over 90, I would target 110. So over 90, I like the long, but it looks like it's going to break and hit 60 here in the next day or so. But it's really going to depend on this high here of it's already held support twice and it wants to retest. I don't like those odds. So that's what I would worry about, that level, 74. So I'd be bearish right now, short term. But let's move on. You know what? Let's just go down the list now. We're going to start with OP. We'll go down the list. OP? USD. I like Optimism. This is a great one. It's a fun one to look at. Okay, guys. Let's see if we can hit this on stream here. 40K on Bitcoin. Boom. Crushed it. Probably going to have a lot of liquidations now, so stay tuned for that. There you go. There's my 40K alert breaking down. I wonder if I can pause this. Okay, we'll just try to break this down. But there you go. 40K mark broken. Remember what we said here on the weekly? We really want to see 38, 39. We want to see 39 almost even. So here you go. I love the oscillator coming down. All right. Real quick, sadly, with this coming off of this, Optimism is coming into a very large fair value gap. I think you could hit 2832, but notice this. Really like this. Notice the oscillator coming down, right? The oscillator is trying to extend here, so it has some imbalance. You have a lot of room for this to set up again to break back out, right? You did have several highs kind of form here around $4, but in this case, I think 284 is going to be your first low target if it breaks this low, which I think it will because Bitcoin is seeming like it's going to follow what we were talking about. But again, you have down to 250, which I don't think it's going to extend that far due to the oscillator. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on Optimism coming down to $2.80. That's what I would look for right now. Below that, $2.50. Then if we... What was that? But in this case, yeah. Oh, sorry. In this case, looking for $2.50 would be as low as I like it. So if we get that coming back down on optimism, I think, I think that's where we might settle off due to the oscillator, right? So in this case, let's see, back through $3.60. I'd be bullish, but for now, definitely bearish on optimism. Look for, let's look at the weekly real quick. The weekly is the other thing that I do like, but I don't like that these highs are mixed here. So here you go. For op, coming off these highs, but look at this. This high is mixed with those highs, these weird lower highs, double top there. Kind of strange. This gap here is pretty good, and it lines up roughly with that fair value gap around 280. So again, I think this thing won't go lower than probably like 270. I mean, you could say 250 would be as low as it goes, but I think you're good right now. So obviously it's going to depend on the overall market as well. But in this case, for this current breakout, looks really good for a reset. Somewhere between 270 and 250. So I think you're good. High value range, like we talked about, was around 150, $2. If you're in OP below $2, then you are good. I would hold. I would definitely hold. Below 250, I would also hold, honestly. So there you go. Soul dumping right now as well. Yeah, it's all good. Again, what did we say? 77. We said, that's what I was saying. 86 wasn't a good value. 77 good values. See if it gets down there below 80 for Solana. Let's do the XRP. XRP real quick. All right. My bottom banner is probably going to disappear, but that's okay. I'm going to take off XRP because this thing's been a little aggressive on the weekly. I'm going to take off the Neo Cloud. XRP here, set that lower high. Definitely bearish on a weekly chart. This is not the right XRP. Let's go to Coinbase. Boom. There you go. Okay. Well, I need a different one. That's actually, there we go. Much better. All right, Binance. Again, bearish on a weekly chart for sure. I'm not too thrilled about this. So in this case, I think, you could hit as low as 50 cents. I do, though. I really like this level. I will say if we can get down to 45, so below 50 cents, I consider it a buy here on XRP. I think that's a really good level for now. Obviously, your best value is going to be around 40 cents for this on a hold. But for now, 48 would be my target to the downside for the weekly. Now, it's a weekly chart, so it's a long term. Daily chart, 48. One again. See? You have these lows lining up pretty aggressively. You do have a decent balance here, but Bitcoin, if it's going to hit our target, XRP is going to hit 48 pretty easily. Let's go to the 4 hour. A lot of these are kind of being the same in a sense. 4 hour right now, it's not too bad at this level with Bitcoin selling. But again, we need to see some bullish setup if we want to consider this an actual trade opportunity. Holding this high, not terrible. If we were actually going to take a considerable bullish setup here on XRP, you're going to want to see 55 get cleared, 55, 56. Have a breakout, retest, right? But yeah, we'll see in that case. And look, yeah, the bottom bar fell. We'll fix that later. I might change that up. Let's look at our last one. Mr. Link. Mr. Link here. I'll have to just bear with my timing now on these confirmed ones. Okay. The bar was gone. That's funny. I'm just floating in midair. But we're figuring it out, right? All right. Chainlink's beautiful, actually. I like Chainlink a lot. I like that it's holding value. This is something that I was talking about on Bitcoin that we would want to see. We go to the weekly, similar situation. It's just chilling, right? Rejecting these highs, rejecting that order block, but it's hanging out. See, the oscillator got reset. That's what we're looking for on Bitcoin on the weekly, right? If we go to the daily here, I'm going to bring up daily on Bitcoin. So again, Bitcoin, guys, 37K was that mark in which we want to see. The 38 really would be our first target. Besides the fair value on the weekly. In this case, Link I like actually quite a bit here. So daily on the week on Link, you have a nice tight range right now, $13. $13 is a great value in this range. I like that it's selling off, but it's not down. Obviously, it's down 3% today, but it's falling roughly what Bitcoin's doing. But again, it's back at that high. So essentially, if Bitcoin can settle off, more than likely, Link's probably going to break out. So it'll probably be up around 17. I would hold this for now. If it breaks $13 and then you're in somewhere in here, I'd probably get out below 13. If you are in below $10, it is definitely a hold. I would hold this strongly below if you're in below 10. But right now, that $12, $13 level, I mean, honestly, with Bitcoin already making this, I think you could see 14, I mean, high 13s. It's not doing too bad where it's at. So that's what I look for. Daily chart for the upside type move. If Bitcoin settles off, we get some volume in Link. If it can get back up above $16.50, lining up with this previous high, you're going to probably want to look for some type of price action that's like this, and then retest it one more time, retest this high, and then get that breakout. Okay, I double-clicked up there. For some reason, it didn't allow it. But something where if Bitcoin can settle off, you can get a retracement like this. This is what you're looking for, right? Now, this is the daily. Look at the 4-hour. Look at the 4-hour setting higher lows. Good sign. Let me pull up the Neo. See where we're at. You can see the Neo is it's been trading in and out of it quite a bit. So if I were bullish here on this, right, we do have a nice little uptrend that formed from this low, right? If I was going to be bullish on Link, I would need to get above, $15.30. I'm bullish. Right now, I wouldn't consider this a good entry point, nor so a good selling point either. So, like we said, if you're below $10, that's a long hold for sure. Retracement from these actual swings. You can even see this thing from that swing point came down, tested the 618, bounced perfectly. From here, again, tested the 618, bounced perfectly to set a new high. So again, right now, what I would say is come $14.50. Maybe $14 might be a good buy for this. You could even see, here you go. This is where value ranges are pretty key. Let's pull up a value range real quick. From this, let's just say that high is pretty much the beginning of this. There you go. You're inside that core value. So this is trading inside this very high volume traded area. So again, $14 would be my downside target. If it can get out of that 1576, look, you have lower liquidity sitting up here. So it should have no problem so long as buyers step in to crush these highs, maybe break out. So really look for a jump and close. I would be careful. Just say $16. $16, Link, bullish for a breakout. But again, I think right now $14 is your target, downside target for sure. But there you go, guys. That kind of concludes the stream for the day. I'm going to try to get the timing down a little bit. Maybe go a little bit over the rest. Let's look at Bitcoin one more time. I already had it up, so I might as well just grab this. Last little review on Bitcoin here. And this is just so clean. This price action is beautiful. Oh, my ear's hurting with this AirPod. Great price action, right? Guys, also, just a few more minutes to vote on whether you want $300 winners or $100 winner this Friday. We're giving away $300. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 Eastern, okay? We're not voting tomorrow, though. Today decides what the giveaway is going to be, okay? Today's going to decide that. Every Monday, we'll figure out what the giveaway is going to be, okay? So, once again, we rejected, right? We rejected that high volume order block there, came back down. Now we're showing support at 39. We're looking for that support at 39. Now, again, we think that 38,000 is our key target right now. We had a high volume low before it fully flushed, right? But in this case right now, because of this FVG, we have as low as 38.5. So that's another reason why we think could have a nice little breakdown there. If we go to the daily chart, we just really like that range around 38K. 38K is a great downside target. On the daily here, you'll have a perfect little reset there. I need to get rid of these. The daily here, you have a perfect extended reset on the oscillator. The lower highs will be done forming. And we should be able to consider a bullish run there potentially into the halving. So let's pay attention for that, okay? So 38K right now is our downside target. I would not be bullish. If I were to go bullish, I would start with the 4 hour. We're in kind of no man's land right now. That's why I think 38K is a pretty easy target to be hitting here. A lot of low liquidity to hit that downside move. So bullish, you're looking over 42,000. We're going to clean closes over 42,000 on the 4 hour. On the daily, similar situation. 42K over that we would be bullish on. Okay. So Bitcoin definitely bearish right now. 38K is our low target, and we'll be back tomorrow for that, right? But guys, we really appreciate you being here. And if you are a part of our community, we appreciate that even more. Now, since we're doing shorter streams, we don't really have enough time to bring our boy Mickey in, but we've decided to start doing, and we might bring him in every once in a while, but we decided to start doing private streams with Mickey inside the Discord, okay, to go more over the indicators and his analysis. So make sure to join the Discord. It's completely free. The link is in the description of this live stream. And he's going to do longer breakdowns of certain, features of the indicators, as well as, analysis on these charts. So feel free to join that Discord. He's going to be doing that weekly. So be on the lookout for that. But in this case, we have a lot of earnings this week, okay? We have Tesla on, let me double check. Sorry, one more time. We have Tesla after close on Wednesday. We have Netflix tomorrow after close. So be ready for those if you do trade some of these stocks. But in this case, we'll see how Bitcoin plays out this week. This is exactly what we've been watching the past 2 weeks. We've been talking about, we've been talking about this coming and giving a nice reset before we get that rally before the halving. So I'm glad that it's playing out the way we've been predicting it. So, guys, trading, very risky, right? Especially if you're day trading. Day trading is very risky type way of trading. So if you are day trading, be careful. Know your risk. It's not gambling. You don't have to treat it that way. Treat gambling like gambling. Don't treat trading like gambling, and I promise you'll be successful. But again, this Friday we're doing a giveaway, so make sure to tune back in on Friday. And it looks like we are going to be giving away $100 to 3 winners. So stay tuned for that. It'll be super exciting. We will let you know how to enter that come Friday. Okay. So on Friday, get ready. And we're going to be doing weekly giveaways. So keep in mind what you might want us to give away roughly around the $300 mark. Whether you want to do the, $300 in, cash every week, or do we want to do, AirPods or something worth $300, a monitor for trading or something, we can totally do some stuff like that. So we're going to give away merch too soon. So stay tuned for some merch giveaways as we figure out our supplier in the first place. But appreciate it. We're at 149 likes. So great goals. 150 maybe we'll go for that tomorrow. But again, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, join the Discord. Follow our Twitter if you want current analysis. We post almost every hour with what we're looking at. So go follow the Twitter at LuxAlgo. And yeah, let's see if we had anything else to update you guys on. Remember, tomorrow, I was going to see if we had any news for tomorrow. I don't think we do. Nope. No major news tomorrow. So we'll keep you updated to that. And we'll try to continue to stream every day at 1 Eastern. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Be safe out there. And we'll see. Hope maybe Bitcoin overnight will hit our target of 38K. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your evening. And let's see if I can find the button. There we go. All right, guys. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you soon. 150 likes. Boom. There we go. We hit it. Awesome. See you guys.